Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Developer Student Community. A new day, a new evening, and a new session. Hashtag 7 days of code. Compile your logics to conquer the match. And in this opening ceremony, we have with us our guest speaker, Mr. Sajal Tikariha, software engineer, Samsung Research Institute, Bangalore. That's not all. He has also a good experience about competitive programming and coding. After this speaker session, Ritvik Kundu will explain you about the rules and regulations of hashtag 7 days of code. So, buckle up your seats and without wasting any time, let's start 7 days of code. Oh, sorry. Remember, it's not 7 days of code. It's hashtag 7 days of code. So now we would like this session to be interactive. So feel free to ask your doubts. If your mics are off, put your doubts in the chat box. So let's start. Now I would like to call Mr. Sadal sir for continuing the session further. Yes, sir.
Hello everyone, this is Sajal Tikariha and I've been working with Samsung Research Institute Bangalore currently, and I'm a software engineer here, and I've passed from NIT Raipur the previous year only, so I belong to 2016 and 20 batch. And since this is a session on competitive programming, I've been into competitive programming for around 3 years during my college days, and currently I'm in touch with it also. Just like that, I am not taking part in online contests and all, but I'm in touch pretty well. So let's start this session without wasting much of your time, actually, because I know you guys have exams tomorrow, or I think day after tomorrow. So let's begin with what actually competitive programming is. So I'll be sharing you my screen and I'll be presenting you in just a minute. Okay, is it audible? And also, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So first of all, what is competitive programming actually? Uh, Anyone would like to tell, or shall I proceed further? Let's try to keep this session interactive. Otherwise, it would be a lecture session for you guys, and I don't want you guys another lecture session before your exams. Actually, hello. Okay, no one, I guess. So let's start this. What is actually competitive programming? Okay, so as you can see, it's competitive programming. The term itself says a lot of about it, and I think I will call it as a sports of programming actually, not competitive programming, because it kind of a sports. It's kind of a hobby for you to enjoy your programming days actually. So competitive programming is basically programming, and which involves languages like C, C++, Java, Python. You can take any language you want, you prefer. Just that in competitive programming, mostly we focus on C, C++, because Java and Python are pretty slow when it comes to competitive programming. And also, it's not like that they are useless. Just they have other advantages as well. Like for Java and Python, they are very helpful when it comes to really big integers and all. So yeah, for to begin with competitive programming, you need to have a grip on one of these, any of the languages. And talking about C++, it's just a superset of C, and Java and Python are also uh, good high level programming languages and all. Okay, and so moving on to the next slide, what else competitive programming is? It's basically mathematics plus logic. Like you can see in this GIF, you need to find x, and I think it's pointing to x. That's logical, but that's not mathematically correct actually. Yeah, so you have to find the logic of the question, but you have to implement it like it is mathematically correct also. Yeah, otherwise you will be facing lots of errors, runtime errors, etc., which we'll be talking later in this ppt. So yeah, mathematics and logic is the basic of competitive programming actually. Okay, and since we are since this most of the students are from, I think, first year and second year, you guys are pretty fresh with what you have learned in 11th and 12th of the mathematics of 11th and 12th. So in CS, it's the best way to use your mathematical and analytical skills that you have learned in your J days. So yeah, and moving on to the next slide, I think the next slide is not that important at the beginning, but yeah, it's fast typing. So in competitive programming, as you might know, the contests are are held for short interval of time, say, in which you have to solve a lot of around 5 to 6 questions. So yes, you should be typing fast, whatever the logic you have got. So moving on, what from where, this is the question most of the beginners get. Like, there are a lot of programming platforms, competitive programming platforms, where online contests are happening. So where to start, or what to read from where, what type of question to solve from where? So I'll be giving a brief on this. So first of all, I'll go with code forces. So code forces is the best actually, I would say. So this is a must actually for competitive programmers. Most of us are well aware of Code Chef and all, because in India Code Chef is pretty famous, I guess. But considering the worldwide effect, I would say Code Forces is simply unmatchable. So just start taking part in the Code Forces contests. Don't think about if you have enough experience, enough practice, or enough knowledge of data structures. Just start taking part in contests. Also, I'll be talking about the type of questions the contests give in code forces. So the first and second questions are mostly implementation based. Also, for the first question, it's just like 4 to 5 lines of code, but you have to crack the logic. Otherwise, you will be writing tens and 20s lines of codes for getting it accepted, and you will definitely lose on time with others. And for this second question, I would guess it's just implementation based normally, and the logic is a little bit of tough than the first one. And so first and second are the implementation based questions. Now coming to third question. Third question involves basic data structures and algorithms, the minimal of them, like the stacks, queues, linked lists, uh, and the mappings, set, and etc. Yeah. And coming to the fourth question. Fourth question is, I would say, implementation based plus some high level data structures and some number theory concepts, etc. Like GCD, the sieve of Eratosthenes, and the modular exponentiation and all. And it may involve basic 1D, 2D, DP like questions. So that's all about the fourth question. Now coming to the fifth and sixth and the remaining of questions, the questions would involve higher level logic, no doubt. Also, complex deep. It might be a complex DP question, or a question based on segment tree, the binary index trees, or the AVL trees, or other try data structure and all. So I think for a beginner level, you must try the contest and try to solve at least two questions, because first and second are the implementation based questions, right? So this is all about code forces. Also for code forces, there when we'll be visiting the site, it's actually pretty old. The UI is pretty old. don't get uh, don't get negative impact from it. Try solving questions. Just it provides you with virtual contests also, code forces. Yeah, so any of the contests that you have missed earlier, you can give the contest. You can set a time of 2 hours and give the virtual contest. Also for code forces, I would say there are all around 5 to 6 contests that are held over a month. So it's simply best for practicing and speeding up your competitive skills, right? So moving on to the second slide, another slide. It's CodeChef. So everyone might know what CodeChef is actually. So they held three contests over a month, two short ones, and namely lunchtime and cook-off, and the one long contest that lasts over 10 days. So from the beginner level, I would highly recommend to take part in the long contest. It involves 10 questions mostly, and you can say 1 day for each question. And at the beginner level or the starting level, you would be able to solve two very fast. You might take a time with third one, and at the end of 10 days, I would expect you to solve around 4 questions, right? And also do take part in the CodeChef cook-off lunchtime contests, because if you ever heard of ACM ICPC, the question patterns are based on the lunchtime cook-offs only, because CodeChef organizes the ICPCs in India. And moving on, we have got HackerEarth and HackerRank. So these two are quite similar actually, name-wise also, and what they provide you with also. So for HackerEarth, I would say it's unmatchable when it comes to documentation of the data structures and algorithms that you've got, like dynamic programming, the trie data structure, binary index trees, segment trees. Those are really well explained in HackerEarth. And for the HackerRank, I would say try to solve data structure questions that are based on that particular data structure. So they have got filters. Uh, so based on that filters, try to solve HackerRank questions. So they are very basic questions that might even be asked in interviews of companies and all. So coming next, we have Spots, Sphere Online Judge. So this is just, I would say, a set of questions that are like you'll just go there and practice a lot of questions there. So Spot is not something where online contests are happening. There are just questions based on the various data structure topics and algorithms. And for the spots, I would suggest to start with the questions that have got maximum number of submissions. So you can sort the questions in the order of number of submissions and just start with it. So after, I guess, 20 to 30 questions, you would feel like the questions are getting repeated and all. So after solving 20 to 30 questions in Spoj, you can uh, switch to solving particular data structure based questions. Okay, yeah. So that would be for Spoj, and I think I would suggest to continuously solve questions in Spoj, and after around 100 to 150 questions, you would be really well enough to score 5 star or 6 star pointers in CodeChef and all contests. I myself have solved around 50. I'll not. I actually tried that, but I would really suggest you to go for 100 mark. Yeah. Now coming to what type of errors you might face while solving questions. So yeah, as the 7 days of code is going to begin, you might be facing errors while solving questions. It's the basics of programming that if you are not getting errors, then definitely you are going wrong. So yeah, what type of errors you might face while solving a question or during a competitive programming contest? So first would be a compilation error. Okay. So compilation error is, you might all know, while you have run your C++ program, you have got this error many times. So it's very basic error. it's an error while writing your code actually. So I would say you have to rethink what you are writing with your C++ program. Like it's a basic syntax error, etc. Yeah. So here you can see compilation error. uh, Thanos snaps his fingers and half of the errors just vanished, but that would not be applicable in your case. Yeah, you'll have to find the errors by yourself. And now it's time for runtime error. So runtime error, you might not have heard of this term SIG. So this is very common term for runtime error when it comes to code safe, code process, etc., etc. So what it tells is like you are trying to allocate a memory or achieve a memory that is not applicable or not accessible, right? Runtime error is for that. In basic terms, we call it segmentation fault. Also, runtime error may also occur due to mathematics error, like you divide by zero, you take modulus by zero, or you have allotted a number that is out of the reach of your data type. Like for int, you have around for int for long int, like you have 10 to the power 18, like that you can't allocate a value that is more than the limit, right? So that would be runtime error. Yeah. And how to fix runtime error, I would say, is just try to allocate all the memories in the global stage. Like uh, for local functions, we have allowed memory of around 4 MB, uh, and for global, we have standard memory limit of around 256 MB, which can be utilized for. So for a local function, if you are writing an array, you are initializing an array inside a local function, and which has a storage of around 10 to the power 6. So it would give you segmentation fault. But the same array, when you initialize it on the global side, you will not be getting the segmentation fault. So just like that, it's a limit of 4 MB for all the local functions, right? Now moving forward, we have wrong answer. Okay, wrong answer is simply your logical fault in the question, or most of the time, one silly mistake we might do is in printing the answer that we are writing the code for actually. So there are some in output formats that the code expects, but we might end up outputting a format that is not applicable. So a wrong answer may be because of that also, but mostly it's because of any error, any of the test cases that might fail with your solution. You might need to change your algorithm. You might need to check for the corner cases if your code is running for or not, right? And moving forward, we have time limit exceeded. Yeah. So time limit exceeded is simply because of the what the server expects your program to uh, output the solution in the given time, but all the outputs might not be able to provide the output in the given time limit. So time limit exceeded is for that. For the solution for it, I would say, is check your data structure. Like you have a sorting algorithm, you might use selection sort, insertion sort that use n square complexity, but the question expects for n log n complexity. So you'll definitely be switching to quick sort or merge sort, like that. So that would be for time limit exceeded. In case you are using linked lists and you are working with pointers, there are many times we face time limits due to infinite loops. Like the pointers are not getting terminated, or the loop is not terminating due to continuous allocation of random memory uh, into the pointers. So that are also the cases for time limit exceeded. So yeah, these are the four basic types of errors that you will be facing in while giving a contest, and try to utilize what I've said for the for uh, wait a minute. Hmm. Yeah, so try to utilize my suggestions and you will be get through these errors easily. Yeah. So moving on, what CP brings to you? So this is a question. Like I would say, uh, in Hacker Earth, we have they show the map of the participation intensity of the countries from where the most number of participants are coming for the contest. So what I have seen is from India, it's the intensity is shown through a red color on a map. So what I see in India is the entire Indian map is red, and actually, but you might know some competitive programming, the best of them. So very few are from India. So why is it that, like we have lots and lots of people going for CP, but not producing the best of competitive programmers, right? So what CP brings to you? I'll be answering these questions on it. So first, it's the placements, and it's the most important thing in Indian tradition, actually, I guess. So yeah, doing CP will really boost you for placements. Uh, Almost every company nowadays focus on your competitive skills for the first 2-3 rounds, for your data structures and algorithm skills for the 2-3 rounds. uh, so you'll after doing competitive, you no longer have to care about what particular data structure the company focuses on while hiring individuals. You will be having a in-depth knowledge of every kind of data structure and algorithm that would be helping you in placements as well. So around 4 to 5 years ago, mostly the focus was on aptitude rounds for the placements during the first 2-3 rounds. But nowadays the curriculum, I would say the pattern, the flow has changed. To mostly they focus now on competitive programming for the first 2 rounds, and yeah. Similarly, in Samsung also, I got to face programming rounds also. So my data structures, algorithms, and my competitive skills helped me a lot uh, for going through this process. So yeah, placements is one major factor. Secondly, strong grip of data structures and algorithms. As I said earlier, you will be having in-depth knowledge of all the data structures and algorithms that you might be using in your future for different features you will be working on, different projects you will be working on. So what happens in competitive programming is the questions are different, no doubt, but data structures and algorithms you use are not changed, right? So depending on the different types of questions, you manipulate these data structures and algorithms according to your logic, and the molded logic you have got gives you the correct answer, right? So you mold this data structure and algorithms according to according to your will, and you try to implement those. So you know the very basic, the very ground roots of each data structure and algorithms. What are the limitations of it? What are the corners? What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages of each data structure and algorithm, right? So another one is working under time pressure. As I said, while doing competitive programming, you'll be taking part in lots and lots of short contests which are time based. So you'll have to solve 4 to 5 questions under the time limit of 2 hours. So you will have to uh, work under really time pressure, and you might end up giving contests like ACM, ICPC, regionals, and all, where the time pressure is really high, because when you are giving a contest, you have worked for around half year, 1 year, and 2 years. The pressure is really high actually. So yeah, working under time pressure is one major advantage you can get from while doing competitive programming. Moving forward, we have, okay, sleepless nights. So this I have added for just fun. You might end up having sleepless nights while solving a question. Uh, it depends on your interest actually. So finally, the mantra to succeed in competitive programming. For I would say there is only one mantra. If you know basics of C++, you might be able to decode this code. It says if topic equal competitive programming. Basically, if the topic is competitive programming, while true, participate plus plus. While true, you might know is a loop for infinite loop. So go on an infinite loop and keep participating. That would be your mantra to succeed. It might take months, it might take 6 months, it might take even years for you to get to a state where you might feel like uh, you have got good in competitive programming, but keep participating. That's the only mantra. Don't wait for gaining enough knowledge of data structures and algorithms. Don't wait for knowing a language better. Just keep on participating. That's the only way you will be getting to learn how to implement those things, and you will be moving forward, right? So uh, I think we are coming to an end for this PPT. I've got a small question for you. Actually, this is a funny question. Actually, one of my friends actually told me this when I was in my college days. So I just got to know that. Yeah, I remembered this question, and I thought I would be adding this. And so, as you can see, I would want you guys to answer this question, turning on your mics if you got this, and I'll just be explaining the question to you. So we have got Alice and Bob. They played a game. So Alice and Bob played a game, and you are given a string and its length, telling who won which round until now. So you will be given an input string and the length of it. The string telling who won until now. So basically in the input section, you can see 9, and which is the length of the given string, and the string itself, which comprises of A and B. A means A wins and B means B wins. Yeah. So you have to find the winner from the given string. Output A if Alice wins, output B if Bob wins. One with more number of wins is the winner. Obviously, the one with more number of wins is the winner. So I would like you guys to answer this question. Hello.
The answer would be A.
Yeah, the answer would definitely be A. But I would like you to give me the solution for how we will be providing the output.
We can
Uh,
count the number of
We
A's
will
in
find
the
the
string.
frequency of each character and then we will compare it. And
Yeah, that's definitely correct. Other solutions?
The shorter one will be, I think, we'll count the number of A's, then we'll
Mhm.
compare it to half of the length of the string. And if it's greater than that, then A wins, and if not, then B wins. And
Okay.
it can be a tie because the length of the string is 9.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, like the winner will, there definitely will be a winner. Yeah, it would not be a case of tie, I would say. So, yeah, like you said, we'll be counting the number of A's, and we'll be checking if the count of A's is greater than the length of half of the length of this string, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is also correct. Uh, So, what you guys are suggesting is the what is the time complexity? What you guys are getting?
And
O of n, right? You go of n. That would be the worst case
it's
complexity.
going to be an.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that would be O of n. But I would tell you a small thing. When you are participating in a contest, right, and you will be actually getting this question only, right? So you might use a for loop to traverse and through the entire array or the string and count the number of a's. Then if you are counting number of v's, then you will be counting number of v's also, and then using a if statement to check if the count of a is greater than b, then print a if count of a is greater than b, and print b if count of b is greater, right? So that is around 7, 8, 9, 10 or 10 lines of code, or maybe 5 to 6 lines of code, right? But then you see a coder or a top coder submitting the same question in around 1 minute, or even, maybe even 30 seconds. So how is he able to do this in 30 seconds? Yeah, anyone has answer for this?
Practice.
Yeah, practice is definitely a thing, but there is certain limit that a human can reach, right? 30 seconds is really a small time.
Algorithms.
No, yeah, algorithms is also one more thing, but I am talking about this particular
Data
question.
structure.
Data structures is also one thing, but what kind of data structure would you use in this
It's
question? Or
maybe
algorithm, any complex
hash map.
algorithm you will use? But don't you think using a for loop and just counting will be faster than using a hash map and defining the hash logic? So the previous
Maybe depend
answer
on the
of yours is better than the hash
question.
map, right? I'm trying to focus on the
Okay.
time actually. Yeah. Also, the complexity would be really less when I'll be telling you the solution. Okay, let me tell you the solution. If no
So
more
can
guesses
I
are
do a
coming,
array
right?
dot sort and then
So what if I array dot sort? Okay, okay. But
and
wouldn't you be traversing through the array? For that, you would be needing a for loop, right?
yeah.
But
But
that's what what I'm trying to tell actually. Hmm. Hi, please tell me. Hello, hello. Am I audible?
yeah, you will.
Yeah. So what I'm telling you is like you will be sorting the array, right? So A's will be in first and all the B's will be in last. So uh, then you will be actually traversing through the array again and counting the number of A's also. What's the difference in sorting actually?
So I don't have to go to the end time. So suppose I got a number, sky value of A is greater than, smaller than B. Then I will break that loop and I
Hmm.
will compare the current count to its string dot length minus
Hmm.
count of that element. Then I
Sure,
don't
sure,
think,
sure.
okay, I have to go to n times. The
Hmm.
for loop
Uh,
maybe n by 2.
okay. Yeah.
And
So
the
this
time
is
complexity
one
also
good
decrease.
optimization, but what I would tell is while doing competitive programming, you must always consider the worst cases. There is a possibility that all the games are won by A. So your entire string might be A. And if I tell you your string length is in worst case can be 10 to the power 5, so you have 10 to the power 5 A's, and you're sorting what? A series of A's only.
Yeah, I am agree with that. It may fail.
Yeah. So it's illogical, right?
Yep.
No, it's not illogical actually. It's logical, but it's just time taking actually for a first question. So
For the
let me
worst
tell you the
in the worst case.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm telling. In competitive programming, you always have to consider the worst cases. So I'll be telling you the answer, actually, I think. Yeah. So you might know what the basic logic of a game is. What is a game? Whether you play table tennis, whether you play tennis, whether you play badminton, what is the basic logic? If at a point I would want to know who is winning. So what would I do? Uh,
The person with the more points.
Compare its point.
yeah, the person with more points also. If a game ends, right, and if I'm telling there is definitely a winner and a game has ended, so what would it mean? uh, does it mean uh, the last point scored is scored by the winner? Can I say that?
Um, no,
No, sir, it's not mandatory.
Yeah, that's not mandatory, I know, but
Yeah.
there. Yeah. So yeah, that thing I was talking about this game is actually, you'll simply print the, suppose this is str string str, so you'll simply will be printing the str of n minus 1, which is length minus 1. That would be the winner actually. So the basic logic here is a game ends when the winner scores the points actually. Yeah, when number of points of a is greater than number of points of b, the game ends here. So there is an answer, which is complex time complexity of O of 1. You don't have to traverse through the entire array. You just have to print the last alphabet, which is a, either a or b. So this is just actually a trick question. You might be thinking like, how is this possible? All games might not be happening like this. So I just wanted to tell you that this type of questions have come in the contest, and I have faced such questions. Like when I go and see the submissions of the coders that have submitted them in 1 second, or below 1 second, the solutions have came out to be like this only. So yeah, this might be the case. So you need to have to be logical. You need to have to be thinking about what's going on in your surrounding like that. Yeah. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't really understand the logic behind this question. Can you explain it a little bit?
Okay. Once more, I will explain. So
Sir,
Alice
I
and
don't think
Bob
so it will work for
played a
all the
game,
test cases.
and yeah, definitely, it would not work for all the test cases. At first, I was also thinking like that. What if
Yeah, it will
it's a
not work
game
for all the
like
test cases.
badminton, where you have to score? Yeah, but if it's a simple game, 1v1 game, suppose you are taking a game of badminton, the one who scores the 21 points first will be winning, right? So the if you'll see, the 21st point scored will be the last point actually. You'll see that's the basic logic behind this game actually. Similarly in tennis,
Uh,
Yeah, it
so,
will only
similarly in
work for
table tennis and
badminton
many
game,
other
no, sir.
games. No,
so
that's not for just about badminton. I'm talking of a one-on-one game. Many games there are, right?
sir, I have a query.
Hmm.
Sir, let's say the array is 5 times A and 4 times B.
Hmm.
It will give false result, right? Because the last point scored will be of B, but A has already won the game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But what I would say is, why are you even continuing to a game that has already won by A? Suppose, suppose you are saying like 5 times A and 4 times B. Suppose I am playing table tennis, and suppose playing a game for 10 points only. Okay? So
Right.
if A continuously score 10 points, what's the point of continuing the game? You get
Yes,
what
that
I'm
is a
saying?
valid reason.
Yeah.
No, that is a valid reason, right?
Yeah.
That would be a game over instantly.
Mm-hmm.
But here in the question, we are given n games, the
Mm.
result of n games,
Yeah.
right? So first we'll take the result of first game as A. result of second game as again A. We'll
Mhm.
take 5 times A, and
Mhm.
then A has already won. We know
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
right? But for the computer to know that, it will have to compute the number of Bs in it.
Yeah, for computer to know that,
Yes. For
but
our
if
logical
you have
standpoint,
been, yeah.
yes, for our logical standpoint, it will be like the person who scores the last will win.
Mhm.
But for the computer to know, I think it will be like you have to check two values. Because let's say
Yeah.
A won 5 times. We know A
Mhm.
has won already, but the
Yeah.
computer doesn't know that. It will have to go till N, I think.
Okay. Yeah. I completely agree to that. No doubt. But you can understand my point also. Like,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, I
what's the
understand.
point of continuing if
Yeah, yeah,
he has already won, right?
right.
So,
Basically, the
I,
person who scores the fifth point wins. No.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Who,
yeah.
the scorer of last point would be the winner, right? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. And I know that there might be flaws in thinking about what the question actually permits, but
So it's all
just
depend
I'm
on test
saying
cases.
like there were cases. Yeah, can you repeat?
Sir, it's all depend on the test cases. Test cases define like it's all depend on the test case. The test case is declared
Uh,
in such a way that you have a explained later. Like it maybe works, but it's not work for all the test cases.
hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I know it's
It's not like a
contradicting. It
universal
might be
solution of this
contradicting. The
question.
logic might be contradicting.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not a universal solution. But you see what I'm trying to show you actually, right? So yeah, this type of questions would definitely be you will be facing when you will be solving code forces in the first or second questions. Sometimes the major chunk of things are left. Just the primary focus of a question is on one basic thing, and if you get that, you get it really fast. Yeah. So yeah, that's all from my side. Let's start our journey with 7 days of coding. Best of luck to everyone who are participating, and also best of luck for your upcoming exams also. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
So thank you so for your time.
So first of all, let us take some of the questions or doubts from Google Meet as well as YouTube, and then Rithi will explain you all about 7 days of code. Okay, so the first question is from Ashish Kumar.
Mm,
But in competitive problem, we stuck sometimes. Then what you suggest about it?
no, can you repeat? Yeah.
So he is asking, but in competitive problem, we stuck sometimes. Then what is your suggestion about it?
Mhm. When you are a beginner, don't stuck for it too long. Actually, don't take too long. Uh, See for the editorials and all if you are a beginner. But once you are good into it, like you know all the data structures and algorithms and the concepts, you are well aware of concepts. Then don't ask for editorials and all. Try your best. Actually, I would say for beginner level, you can see the editorials giving around 2 to 3 hours for a question, basic beginner level question, and you can switch to editorials. 2 to 3 hours of focus and concentration on a single question is enough.
One is asking, but I am not from CS program.
Mhm.
Okay, that's the question.
So, okay, that's the question. It doesn't matter actually. Here in Samsung, we have people from electrical electronics also who are with us doing same network programming and all. So it doesn't matter actually. If you've got interest in programming, uh, programming has become something very common these days. Everyone is doing programming, right? So you have got a bit of interest in mathematics and the logical analysis of things. Competitive programming is best for you.
So Ashish is asking, is our performance on these platforms help us in our placement?
On this platform, which platform actually? Uh, are you talking about all the online platforms? Yeah,
Ashish, can
for uh, yeah. So if you're talking about the online platforms, after a certain limit, yeah, it would definitely be matter. So like if you are a 6 star, 7 star coder, it would definitely showcase your what you have done. But not the, I would say not the stars. What our performance will tagged by companies. Yeah, yeah, it would definitely be. They'll, yeah, they'll be definitely tracking your performance. But I don't think they'll be doing regular monitoring of your performance. Once you will be mentioning in your resume what your competitive profile is, they'll just have a look at what have you done over the years or months, how you have been practicing, how consistent you have been, uh, how we have performed in short contests, how we have performed in long contests, and all.
so Rajiv is asking, is Python a good choice for competitive programming?
Mm, yeah, Python would be a good choice, but yeah, as I said, it's slow. It's really slow. Sometimes we get questions like in C++, also we get TLEs, and we just change C out and C into scanf and printf, and the code just passes. So that's how strong C++ is. So no doubt when it comes to uh, fast and performance. So C++ would be best. You might be seeing like the best of coders also do programming, competitive programming in C, C++. For Python, I would say basic knowledge of Python is really good, because when it comes to big numbers, Python is just indisputable.
So Ashish is
C++,
asking C++ or Java, which language is best for CP?
definitely C++. You
So
might
in
have, if you are into CP, you might have solved the big integer problem, that like multiplication of big numbers that may reach up to 10 to the power 9, that may numbers that may reach 1,000 digits. For that, you have to convert the number into string in C, C++. But I think Java, Python are able to handle that with, with big integers. Yeah. What is there any disadvantage use of Java? Yeah, right. Like I said, the performance issue is the time issues, and also in Java you have to write long lines of codes also.
so in YouTube, I see there are a lot of fans of Sajal sir. Sambek Thakur is saying Sajal sir is a great mentor. He has been mentoring me since last 3 years. And
Actually, all of my friends are mentoring me, and so what I am here, I'm giving you, I'm mentoring you because of all of them only. Yeah.
yes,
So it's a good what I'm missing.
Sambek has one more funny question. Sajal sir, you have two options. One PUBG and second Codesep Cook Off. What will you choose?
Oh, definitely will be playing PUBG, because in Cook-Off I won't be partnering with you. Yeah, I think my competitive time is over now, so I'll definitely be choosing PUBG. Yeah.
And Siddharth Chandra is saying Sajal sir has always been inspiration and has been the person behind most people getting placed in our batch. Siddharth Chandra.
No, no, no. It was not like that. Actually, everyone around me is simply best at their own fields. Everyone has done hard work, and those who are watching, I guess, will be also reaching great heights. Yeah.
Chris is asking a beginner should enter competitive programming or should make his basics strong first.
No, no, no. Like I said, just go for it. जैसा आप लोगों ने वो देखा होगा ना, कोटा फैक्ट्री, उसमें जीतो भैया बोलते हैं ना, नहीं होती तो बैठ जाओ, वैसा ही। बस कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग करना है तो कॉन्टेस्ट में बैठ जाओ बस, और लगातार बैठते जाओ। वेट नहीं करना कि डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स पढ़ लेते पहले, पहले ये एल्गोरिथम्स पढ़ लेते, पहले बेसिक स्ट्रॉन्ग कर लेते।
So one more Tony is asking what suggested resources should we study to prepare for competitive programming.
Okay, resources, I would say simply are just search for the topics, and I would suggest to go for Hacker Earth and Top Coder tutorials specifically. They are best actually. I've only uh, read most of the tutorials from Hacker Earth only for DP and all. I mean, and also try to avoid geeks for geeks codes actually. The theory they provide for a data structure and algorithm is really good, but the codes are not that well structured. Yeah. So for that, definitely prefer Hacker Earth and Top Coder.
So I think all the questions are over, and with this superb slang, which is famous now by Subham Patel, let us move further to the session with Ritik Kundu. And the slang is ये हम हैं, ये हमारे सजल सर हैं और ये हमारी मोटिवेशन हो रही है. Well said, Subham. So now I would like to call Ritik Kundu for explaining about the hashtag 7 days of code. So Ritik,
Okay.
you can continue.
Okay. I can leave. Yeah. Switch off my camera.
Okay, sir. Thank you
Okay.
for coming in the
Bye bye.
session.
All the best.
Hi guys, I'm Ritvik Kundu from BIT Durg, IT third sem, and I will be telling you about our contest, 7 days of code, and the basic rules and regulation of it. So let me just get straight to it. I'll just present my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So right now, when you have signed up for the 7 days of code, I mean hashtag 7 days of code, you will be having this as your landing page where it will tell you how much hours is left for the contest to begin. And then there will be information about the prizes, rules, scoring, and so on, right? So when you actually when the contest actually starts, you will be able to log in and you'll be able to see the challenge page like this. Right now it's empty because the contest hasn't begun yet, right? So at midnight we'll be starting our contest, so we'll put out our first questions, right? So in case there are questions, the page will look something like this, like it will tell you challenges, the name of challenge, the success rate, the marks that are scoreable, right? So let's say you want to solve a question, right? So for solving a question, you will be, just click on the solve challenge one, right? And then you will be presented with its prompt, right? So, I think you have all seen the Algo Expert ad, it's like pick a question, read the prompt, write some code. So it's basically just that, right? So you will be given the prompt, then there's function description, so on. Then there will be input format. Like Sajal sir said, it's quite important to know the input and output format. Sometimes we might print the output in the next line, but we might not need that. So it will give you a wrong answer. So it's important to know how you want to output your answer and how you want to, input them. And then there will be constraints, which are nothing but your the value range for your inputs, right? And then you will be presented with an online ID. I think everyone is familiar with an online ID. Then you can just select your language, like it's default by I think Python here. You can select C++. It will provide a default code. Don't get intimidated by this. Just remove this and write your own code, right? So I'll just demonstrate by solving a very short question, like adding two numbers on their platform. It's like just select a language and then just print them, just add two numbers. So I'll just use Python for my convenience. Like, yeah, so Python code is actually quite written. I wrote it early on, right? So this is the Python code for running to add two numbers, right? So firstly, I'd suggest that is when you're giving the contest, right? Don't first-handedly submit the code. First, try to run it, right? When you run the code, you'll see, uh, try to see if it passes all the sample test cases or not, right? because if it doesn't pass all the sample test cases, it will not pass all the hidden test cases. And once you're sure about your answer, like really sure about your solution, just click on the submit code. It will run a few test cases. Like here it's only 2 test cases, right? And Python is, I think, a bit, like Sajal sir pointed out, it's a bit slow, right? I don't know why is it taking so much time. uh, Generally it doesn't take this much time. It just shows all correct. But I think you get the idea about how to use their online ID. Just select whichever language you want to choose, like C sharp, C++. There are a lot, Go, Java, and then Python. So yeah, so it's completed and it will show you if you have solved it correctly, right? So this is how to run a program in the contest, right? Now the way we have designed this contest, it's for beginner friendly. It's very beginner friendly. Like Sajal sir pointed out, you have to give competitive coding contests to get the idea of it. But like he said, a few questions might be intimidating. Learning curve उसमें बहुत ज़्यादा वो नहीं होता. उसमें मतलब बहुत जल्दी difficulty level बढ़ जाता है. Like first question is like implementation, and then third, fourth is like data structure algorithm. So what we did in our contest is it's like हम लोग ने इसको ऐसे तरीके से डिजाइन किया है for people who are just beginning with coding, right? They'll get to learn from it. Like इसमें difficulty gradually बढ़ेगा over 7 days. So first day it's easy, like implementation based. Then second it will be like a bit tougher for logical रहेगा. Every question is logical, right? But it's not like कि मतलब एडवांस लोगों के लिए ये नहीं है. For them it will be like time based कि कौन जल्दी कर पाता है नहीं, right? And we have kept the rules beginner friendly as well. Like we will put out a new question every day, like at midnight, right? So हम लोग डेली एक एक क्वेश्चन डालेंगे उसमें, एंड यू विल हैव 24 hours टू सॉल्व इट, राइट? सो ऐसा मत सोचना कि मतलब 12 बजे से है मतलब 12 बजे से ही करना है. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. टेक योर ओन टाइम. योर टाइमर विल स्टार्ट व्हेन यू रीड. मतलब जैसे मैंने बताया ना अभी कि यहाँ पे तुम्हें दिखाएगा इसमें. लेट्स से योर टाइमर विल नॉट स्टार्ट unless and until you click on the solve challenge problem. Like if I click solve challenge, my timer will start now, right? So that's when my timer starts. So don't think कि मतलब 12 बजे है मतलब 12 बजे से ही करना पड़ेगा. वैसा कोई इशू नहीं है. You can start at your own time. Just make sure you're able to solve the questions, right? And then it's like हम लोग ये काम कर रहे हैं कि after 24 hours, we are removing the points. The reason is I think मैं तो contest दिया भी था, उसमें ऐसा था कि it was similar to this, right? It's like it's 7 days of code. It was like I think 10 days of code. So what happened was कि मैं 10 दिन तक लॉग इन कर रहा था, ठीक है, डेली लॉग इन किया, डेली सबमिशन किया, बट few people they came on the last day and they solved all of the questions, right? तो उसमें लीडर बोर्ड में ना पूरा एकदम चेंज हो जाता है. उन लोग का टाइम भी कम दिखा रहा था बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली लोग आखिरी दिन में आके किए तो उनका टाइम कम दिखाएगा. To prevent that sort of things, after we put out a new question, like it's a new day, like अगर आज हम लोग टाइम क्वेश्चन डालते हैं, right? On 3rd March we'll give out a new question, लेकिन हम लोग उसके पहले वाले क्वेश्चन का पॉइंट 0 कर देंगे. Kind of like this. Like डे 2 में ऐसा दिखेगा. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल डे 1 में हम लोग का ये वाला क्वेश्चन था. डे 1 में इसका स्कोरेबल 100 ही रहेगा, नो इश्यूज, राइट? यू विल हैव 24 hours टू गेट द पॉइंट. बट वंस 24 hours हैव पास्ड, इस वाले क्वेश्चन का स्कोर 0 हो जाएगा. यू कैन स्टिल सॉल्व इट फॉर योर फन, कि मतलब देखने के लिए कि तुम सही सोच रहे हो या नहीं. बट एज फॉर पॉइंट्स वो नए वाले क्वेश्चन में रहेगा विच इज एलोकेटेड फॉर दैट डे. प्रीवियस डेज का स्कोर 0 हो जाएगा. तो इसमें अगर कोई लेट भी आता है तो वो तुमको ओवरटेक नहीं करेगा पॉइंट्स में, राइट? सो ये हम लोग बिगनर फ्रेंडली बनाने के लिए ही किए, राइट? और अगर स्कोरिंग की बात होती है तो यहाँ पे भी मेंशन्ड है कि एवरी प्रॉब्लम विल बी ऑफ 100 points. यू विल बी गिवन 24 hours, राइट? एंड देन the countdown of the timer will start once you open the specific problem page, right? So I think it's like जो कॉन्टेस्ट हम लोग ने डिजाइन किया इट्स लाइक जैसे हम लोग गेम खेलते हैं ना कोई भी नया, तो पहला जो अपना मिशन रहता है या पहले जो लेवल्स रहते थे लाइक ट्यूटोरियल बेस्ड, हम लोग को कंट्रोल सीखने में लगता है कि कौन से बटन से क्या होता है नहीं होता है, एंड देन व्हेन वी गेट फेमिलियर टू दैट वी तब हम लोग मल्टीप्लेयर शुरू करते हैं. सो दिस कॉन्टेस्ट इज लाइक दैट. जो बिगिन कर रहा है मतलब फॉर बिगनर्स इट्स लाइक अभी वो सीख रहे कि मतलब ऑनलाइन आईडी कैसे यूज करते हैं, टेस्ट केसेस क्या होते हैं, किस तरीके से कॉर्नर केस हैंडल करने रहते हैं, सो ऑन. दे आर लर्निंग कंट्रोल्स. For someone who has grip over coding, it's like they're competing against the best. Like अगर कोई क्वेश्चन 10 मिनट में सॉल्व कर रहा है तो किसी को 8 में करना पड़ेगा. लाइक सजल सर ने मेंशन किया था कि वहाँ पे बहुत ज्यादा कम्पिटिटिव वो हो जाता है. सो इट्स लाइक I'd say for beginners it's like you should focus more on solving the questions rather than solving them fast, right? Because you have 24 hours, it's plenty of time. Just make sure you think of the logic correctly. And for someone who is has a good grip on coding, just focus if you can do it faster than anyone else, right? Because then it will be quite fun for both ends. Like for beginners, they'll get to learn, they'll get to try out new things every day. हम लोग ने उसी तरीके से डिजाइन किया, like first implementation based, then data structure, then a few algorithms and so on, right? So ऐसा ही रहेगा. And I think we'll share a Discord link. So अगर किसी को भी कुछ कॉन्टेस्ट रिलेटेड डाउट आता है, राइट, तो वो उसमें शेयर कर सकता है. एंड वन थिंग इज कॉन्टेस्ट रिलेटेड डाउट में ऐसा मत बोलना कि सर कोड काम नहीं कर रहा है, राइट, कि मतलब ये वाले कोड स्निपेट में काम नहीं कर रहा है, स्टफ लाइक दैट. कोड स्निपेट्स डालना अवॉइड करना. अगर कुछ टेक्निकल इश्यूज रहते हैं हैकर रैंक से रिलेटेड या फिर कुछ और कि क्वेश्चंस अभी तक नहीं आए, क्वेश्चंस कब आएंगे अगले, राइट, so you can ask those on Discord. Otherwise I think the rules are self-explanatory, right? And then I've told you how to solve a question on HackerRank, and then 7 days of code will begin from I think midnight, right? So we'll be putting out our first question on at midnight, right? And then you'll be able to solve it. ऐसा मत रखना कि मतलब 12 बजे से ही शुरू करना है. जस्ट पिक योर ओन टाइम, राइट? एक कंफर्टेबल वो रहना, and try to solve the questions. Questions are relatively super easy as compared to code chef level questions, right? But we have mainly did this because beginners, they get intimidated by tough questions, right? They'll be like हमें तो आता नहीं है, हम कैसे करेंगे, ठीक है? So it's like we gradually build up that level. Like once you did our 7 days of code, I think जैसे सजल सर ने बोला कि you will be able to solve like 2-3 questions of code chef or code forces. So it's like that. We'll be just covering, not a whole lot of topic, not cram everything into 7 days. We'll, I think, just begin with implementation, go to the decision making, and then data structure, and then a bit of algorithm, right? And a few questions of mathematics as well, right? We'll not cram up too many things. I think it will be like that. So the questions will be very easy for someone who has actually done a bit of coding. I've seen a few registrations. They have like 4 or 5 stars in programming, right, in HackerRank. So I think it will be very, very easy for them. So they'll be competing to who can solve it fastest. But for beginners, it should be like if you can learn a new thing out of every day. And then like our motto says, compile your logic to conquer the match. That's if you're able to do it, if you're able to implement your logic, if you're a beginner, it's just a very good thing, and it will be a good foundation for you to begin on platforms like code chef, code forces, and etc. क्योंकि अगर तुम्हें 7 days में एक कोडिंग का आदत मिल जाता है ना, so it will be very beneficial for you. कि like our main aim was to induce a daily coding habit. So I think that should cover all the points that I was trying to make. I think the rules are clear. If anyone has any doubt regarding the rules or the scoring system, they can ask freely.
So Asif is asking, is our wrong submission affect our rank?
No, here your wrong submission will not affect your rank, because like it's not ACM style leaderboard. Here it will only consider your time taken to, it will just check whether your answer is correct or not, and it will see how much time it takes to, how much time did you take to complete the answer. So it will, so wrong answers will not affect your, rank. Like if you have given, if anyone has ever given Code Chef long challenge, it is something like that. The wrong challenges will not affect your answer, the rank, right? But yes. So any
So
more doubts?
one more question: is our time complexity matters?
Yes, of course it will matter, because let's say a question, it depends on the question and constraints, right? So let's say if the question expects you to solve it in, some certain complexity, and you're going above it, so it will give you time limit error. I mean, competitive coding is all about, your complexity and time taken for that. Because as software developers are, हम लोग को पैसा इसलिए मिलता है ताकि हम लोग एफिशिएंट कोड लिखे, राइट? ऐसा नहीं है कि मतलब 10 लूप लगा दे रहे एक के अंदर एक, एंड आंसर सही आ जाएगा, नो इश्यूज, राइट? लेकिन उसके लिए हम लोग को बड़े बड़े एप्लीकेशंस में सुपर कंप्यूटर यूज करना पड़ेगा, इट्स लाइक दैट। तो जो चीज़ हम लोग का आराम से हो सकता है कम कम्प्लेक्सिटी में, सो वी ट्राई टू डू दैट। सो ऐसा रखना कि मिनिमम टाइम कम्प्लेक्सिटी जो रहे उसमें करने की कोशिश करना। आई थिंक इसमें थोड़ा सा अलाउ करते हैं, लेट्स से अगर जैसे कम्प्लेक्सिटी अगर वो लोग n एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं, राइट, फ्रॉम यू, तुम उसको n log n में भी बना सकते हो, राइट? तो उतना अलाउ कर देते हैं, लेकिन उन लोग शायद n स्क्वायर का ना करे, हो सकता है, तो क्योंकि n स्क्वायर इज ऑब्वियसली मच बिगर देन n, राइट? सो टाइम कम्प्लेक्सिटी विल मैटर। वो तुम जब क्वेश्चन को पढ़ोगे, यू विल हैव टू गेज कि किस तरीके से तुम्हें लिखना पड़ेगा कोड। वन पॉइंट दैट आईड लाइक टू मेक इज, एक टिप दे रहा हूँ। लेट्स से अगर तुम्हारा जब कुछ कोड लिखते हो, राइट, अगर उसमें नंबर ऑफ ऑपरेशंस तुम्हारे 10 पावर 6 है, लेट्स से अगर एक तुम एक एरे ले रहे हो और उसमें कुछ ऑपरेशंस कर रहे हो, तुम्हें 10 पावर 5 एलिमेंट्स रीड करने पड़ेंगे एंड सो ऑन, राइट? तो उसमें ऐसा रखना कि, ये ध्यान में रखना कि एक कंप्यूटर को 10 पावर 6 या 10 पावर 7 ऑपरेशंस करने में 1 सेकेंड लगता है, राइट? और 1 सेकेंड के कॉन्सेप्ट के हिसाब से अगर तुम चलोगे, सो उसमें मैक्सिमम तुम n log n यूज करना, ठीक है? अगर तुम्हें लग रहा है ऐसे, वो कम्प्लेक्सिटी डिसाइड करने वाला पार्ट तुम्हारा है, बट दिस इज वन इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट कि हम लोग अज्यूम करके चलते हैं कि कंप्यूटर टेक्स 1 सेकेंड फॉर 10 पावर 7 ऑपरेशंस, राइट? तो अगर वो डिपेंड भी करता है, फॉर एग्जांपल अगर तुम्हारा एरे का साइज बड़ा है तो उसमें टाइम लिमिट भी ज़्यादा रहेगा, राइट? बट लेट्स से तुम्हारा एरे का साइज 10 पावर 5 है, तो ट्राई टू डू इट इन n log n, क्योंकि n स्क्वायर में वो टाइम लिमिट एरर फेंक देगा। तो yes, time complexity is very important part of it.
So
Any more
one,
queries?
okay, I see there are no more queries. So one more thing, we have a social challenge for you, a surprise. According to this social challenge, participants are expected to post the screenshot of their work. Don't show the code. Make sure you don't show the code of the problem. Okay, on any or all of their three social media handles, LinkedIn, Twitter, or Instagram, daily during the event by tagging our official handles through hashtag 7 days of code and developer student community. So I am putting all the social media handles of developer student community in the chat. So you can follow them and tag them while posting your screenshots. Maybe those social challenge winners would be getting some other prizes or certificates from us. So make sure you do it daily and don't share the code. I am telling it again and again. So that's all from our side. And the first problem will be there from 12 a.m. IST midnight today. That is from 2nd March 2021. So thank you all for coming here. Happy coding. Thank you.